Sacred woman I am, with bare feet I walk across the rivers.
I want to ask you something about, actually, this is very, very different from what we were talking about, but it is connected anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
So I find myself sometimes be quite tired, emotionally, mentally, and physically, because my hormones are going up and down. So again, wake up, because maybe I didn't sleep at all that night. So my melatonin levels are down the drain. I couldn't sleep very well. And even if I'm taking magnesium glycinate, so it's just melatonin, the production changes because my hormones are changing. And so I wake up and I'm tired, and sometimes I feel actually confused. I don't have clarity. I feel to declutter. So what would you say to a woman, that wants to build a business, but she is tired?
Yeah. Which in a way most clients are when they sign up. The women that want to build a business, but they have a lot of knowledge and skills and wisdom that they have collected throughout their lives. So they really feel this calling to package that together, and they really want to serve people. They have this drive that they feel. But realistically, real life is tough, right? Things happen. There's grief, loss, things don't work out the way you expected. Maybe you're not heard as well as you wanted to. Your friends maybe don't really hear you anymore. There's so much goes on that we didn't expect when we were younger. And there you are dealing with this reality of divorce. Maybe a divorce of a narcissist, which is, that's going to take 8 years instead of a quick one that's going to drag out. Co-parenting with a narcissist. I have quite some clients who do that, and they get bullied by their ex, but they still have to show up for their business. So they have these two worlds that they're moving in between, from this, I have to survive this hard situation, take care of my kids, but I also really want to do this and move away from that. I also have clients who have adult children who leave the house around that age, so they become empty nesters. Parents passed away. So all these really heavy themes that we deal with, as of 30 and older, like the life change themes really start to hit on people. And there you are in the morning, waking up with all these traumas, because your brain will immediately kickstart that dialogue over and over again. Yeah. So how do you cut through that? So my clients have been wildly successful with cutting through that, which is awesome. And the first thing is to actually get control of your thoughts in the morning. Yeah. So in the morning, there's always a moment of death. There's this moment of liveliness when you wake up, and that's the divine. You're like, I'm awake. The divine is back. I'm in the light. And 2 seconds later, the death feeling arrives. Everyone has that. That's that moment of, I don't want to get out of bed. I feel depressed. I have anxiety. All that stuff starts. So that moment of that death energy, that when the brain starts to say everything is a problem, that's where we need to choose another thought. And it's a huge practice. So you have to interrupt the mental pattern of words and thoughts with thoughts that you choose. Today's an amazing day. This is the best year of my life, right? And it's just a start, but it's like a scissors that cuts through the cords of a negative, deafening, killing mindset that switches on in the morning for everyone, but no one talks about it. Everyone has that.
Yeah.
So once people feel and realize, oh, I'm not the only one, everyone feels that way in the morning, that pressure falls away already. Like, oh, it's not just me. We all have it.
Thank God.
Yeah. See, it's not just you, not just me. We all have it. We all have it. And there's some shame around it because, we've maybe seen movies in Hollywood or high performers, and everyone has this kick-ass morning routine, and there you are under your duvet struggling with your thoughts. But all these people have also had to train themselves to perform that way. So the first thing we do is really choose the thoughts that you want to think. That's the power. You choose your thoughts. We have the power to do that. We don't let our brains just run away with us at this age. That's because then you get sick, you'll get depressed, it will manifest in the end. The second thing is also in line with nutrition that you mentioned is no coffee in the morning, lemon water. So the first thing on your stomach has to be a glass of water or lemon water, so that flushes away cortisol and lowers your stress levels. So in the morning you have more bounciness. Now there's space. Instead of that, what the brain will do, now you're in control. Now you have power and now you have options. And maybe in the start it won't feel good because it's your shadow boxing. You're creating something new for yourself, and it's a practice. It will take a few weeks, but once you get that morning down, then you win.
And you know what I think this is actually good because for women going through perimenopause, because it kind of gives us a sense of control because we are losing control of our life.
Yes.
And
so then you control your thoughts.
Everything's falling apart. So when we have that little bit of control, it kind of helps us with the mind overreacting to things and knowing that, I am in power, I can do this,
I can do this. Exactly.
I don't know about I heard also with either lemon water and lemon, but also warm water and a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar,
for example. Or salt or anything that rehydrates your body, because of dehydration we get higher cortisol levels. And that makes us mentally ill, will feel bad, and physically gain a lot of weight. So
take electrolytes for constantly.
Exactly. So there's that nutrition part, mindset work, and then you have to get into action. And then I coach my clients, or what we actually work on is that they start to prioritize what they really need to do to reach their dreams. Because there'll be 20 things to do, but there are only 3 that you can realistically do. And that's where priorities come. And once they see that they can choose and it starts to work out, the amount of empowerment from the inside out starts to boost. And it's not me. It's not that I gave it to them or man gave it to them. They did it. They overcame it. And that's gorgeous. That's power.
I as well for myself, when sometimes, remember last time I told you, I'm a bit overwhelmed this morning because I know I have 2,000 things to do, and maybe it's 4 things, but they become in my mind 4,000, because of the overwhelming effect, of the hormones create, or lack of hormones create.
Exactly.
And then, even like the simple things that you show me, like, build your timeline, and from this hour to this hour you do this, from this hour to this hour you do this, and it's manageable. So when I see it, it's there. It's manageable. It's done. A little bit of structure again, because I'm losing control of everything.
Exactly.
So that we hope.
So going to what we can control, because at this age, do you want to control your kids? Do you want to control your partner? Do you want to control your manager, your mom, your neighbor? Like, it's so tiring, right? But what we can control is the food that we eat and the thoughts that we think. And it's hard because it's about changing habits, and it will take a little time. But you have to choose your pain or your suffering in letting these things overwhelm you, or you slowly start to cut through the negative patterns with the scissors, small scissors, little by little, not in one go, just over time. And before you know it, it's you. You're like, I just do this, no problem.
I know. And it's been like, I know, like for me, it's been, and I don't know, just for me, listening to women in my life that are trying to build their own business as well, from being like, coaches or psychotherapists, different types of businesses. But they feel like, it feels a lot sometimes because we have this, lost sense of, we don't have it, it's just a sense of losing control of everything.
Everything.
Struggling with this stupidest thing, really, because when something happens and you get overwhelmed, and then the day after you look back and you go, why did I get overwhelmed for that thing? It's just a tiny little thing. And obviously, it happens because my hormones are going up and down. And so I don't know. And I think we discussed this, just reminding myself or having someone to remind me or have
Yeah.
post-its around the house to remind me it is my hormones, it is not me.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. And just because, I feel like, oh, what's happening to me? And then I remember, or someone reminds me, it's just your
Exactly.
hormones. Sit
Yeah.
down, breathe, center yourself, ground yourself. Grounding is a huge thing for me. And to be able to ground myself. But even feeling like, I am a very clean person. I clean my house as often as I can. This morning I didn't make the bed. And I went out without making the bed. And so I looked at the bed and I said, honestly, I said, F it. I
Yeah.
can't deal with this anymore,
Yeah.
It's just this, that's feminine way of doing things, though, because it's not like, straight and linear. I have to do this, this, this,
There's
this.
a little bit of chaos, a little bit of tension,
Yeah. So
a little bit of mystery.
fine.
Like, what's there? I don't see what that is. Yeah, I'm not showing you.
So
That's the
it's
thing.
fine.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
sometimes and I know, working with women as well, and not just for me. So again, I was also saying I surrendered very much to the process, but I know how women in my life are struggling with it. And the thing is, when we do this work, your work, my work, similar jobs, like, being a coach or a healer or a teacher, we are so in tune to our body that
Yeah.
we feel every single tiny little shift happening.
Yeah.
And so we learn how to deal with these energies moving up and down constantly. And then because we learn how to deal with them, then we become better coaches, better healers.
Absolutely.
So it is, in a way, it can be like painful, but it is a huge gift as well, because obviously we chose this to be in service. And so feeling that shift happening every single second or every minute or every day, whenever it happens, it's quite often just for me to see it as a blessing, not as a curse, because it is my job and I'm learning how to live through this passage so that I can help others as well. So even even for me was finding the gift behind the chaos, behind what seems to be
Yeah.
bad, but it's not.
Yes, but it really is an exploration for you and for me. And it also goes to show how much we actually need elder women. We needed the female elders to teach us.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But we didn't have that. It's not part of our society to heal through storytelling and feminine.
Yeah.
We've tried to create a lot of that. But now that I've reached this stage and I hear you also saying how you figured it out for yourself, it shows that we as women really do need an elder woman who guides us and who shows us these kinds of journeys and the importance of the work that you do in the Rite of Passage.
Yeah, and so that's why perimenopause is important, living this passage in the best possible way, learning from it, not just cursing it, but learning from the ups and downs of what's happening, why this is happening. You don't have to have the answers straight away, but know that, there is a gift behind that pain that you're feeling. And it's not going to be evident straight away because it is a painful journey.
Yeah.
But, even just allow yourself to feel overwhelmed and feel, maybe anxious or sad or angry, enraged. Just allow that, because that energy has a lot to tell us. And, and working with someone like you or like me or a coach or a healer to go through the layers of that energy to the core of it.
Yes.
That's when we start just that's the beginning, like of the journey. We start becoming freer and realizing we start realizing, there's much more to this. I'm much more than just this body going through the ups and downs of hormones, and it is powerful. I know deeply, truly know how difficult it can be, so I'm not minimizing it, but allowing ourselves to feel and surrender to that energy with someone as well, close to us or that we trust, that can support us in the process, allows us, to open up and let this, what I call this wild, free energy to come up, so that we can be of service to ourselves first and then others. So
other women and mothers and children and daughters and It's such an important thing, and it's beautiful to see it come back in our society now, because I think maybe once in ancient times it was normal and a part of our healing journey as women.
Yeah.
And now it's coming back, but in this modernized technical world. So it's quite interesting to feel that way and want to work that way and with nature and work on yourself while being bombarded with so much technology, very quick change. And we're all bombarded by advertisements everywhere. So we're constantly triggered in you need this, or this is not good, or everywhere we look, as soon as we switch on a machine, we're being influenced in how we're supposed to think.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's, I think, a very interesting time as well as seeing how the world is developing, to really stay very grounded within yourself, know what your own values are, what you stand for, while still using technology and being okay with those developments as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, like, values, my values. What are my values? Knowing where I come from, why I do something, why I'm doing what I'm doing, or who am I doing it for, who am I serving? And values are very, very important. So getting to know even your values, where are you coming from with this? Where is your at the core of your being, what it is that makes you thrive and do this work, what are your values? So it's very, very important. And honest to God, when I started this path, and I think when I started to work with you, that became quite evident for me. I knew it, but it was much more evident when I started to work with you, what my core values were. And I am in service, and I always wanted to be in service. But one of the first things that popped up, like from here, from my heart, from the core of my being, was, it's taking care of myself fully and explore myself completely, without veils, without hesitation, without fears. Because if I don't do that for myself first, I'm not going to be able to do it for anyone else. And so it's me becoming what in society could be called, a selfish bitch. But that's
maybe
needed.
To some.
It's needed in our journey, on our journey through perimenopause.
And what's better than a protective woman, like a mama bear kind of woman who doesn't take bad things? There's nothing better to protect a family or a household when the feminine knows how to stand her ground. It makes so much difference for a household, relationships. It's in everything.
And so learning that, okay, it's not that, me first. It's not that in an egotistic way. It's me first, because if I don't understand what's happening here, how am I going to be able to help you here?
No, and you just don't allow yourself to be manipulated. By anyone.
That's a big theme, manipulation, so feeling that, okay, if I get to know myself, journey deep within, it's not only for healing, it's for transformation, but to know who I am. And so, so that I don't get manipulated. I mean, it happens in society, it's quite normal, and we all go through that. So at some point in our life, unfortunately, but learning from the experience as well, and knowing that, putting yourself first now, because you're going through so much. It's essential. It's not something that, it's not a luxury you do, you like a massage you go for yourself. No, this is something you must do. It's your life.
You must. It's a must. It's not something that's not like something outside of your life. It's part of
it's that
your life.
Deep love, like, the way it was coming up for me. It's like, when my heart kept breaking and breaking and breaking, and then one day, it just exploded, but it wasn't just my heart, it was my mind as well. My mind went into a million pieces, so I went through hell and back, the dark nights of the soul, and I've experienced them in perimenopause. They're quite deep. They go deeper. I go deeper in those nights, in those moments, they're much deeper than before. But it's different, and I can't even Oh,
Yeah.
it's going too deep. I'm going too deep with this. Oh,
Okay.
but anyway, it's just, finding that way through those layers to the core of my being and
Yeah.
allowing myself to walk through the
Yeah.
night
Exactly. That
and
was it. The
feel
darkness,
the
right?
depth
You,
of
you
me.
you stop being afraid of the dark. You
Yeah,
stop being afraid of the dark, the shadow. You're like,
yeah,
okay, this is it. I can't run away. I don't know where I'm going. I have
yeah,
no flashlight.
yeah,
And you go in. You
yeah.
just go through the woods.
Yeah, you go through the woods, and I remember going through one of these dark nights, once, and it's quite dark, and I remember having this dream, which was I don't know, it was a gift from the Divine Mother. That dream was a gift from the Divine Mother, and I know that I was going through such shitty time, and it was so horrible, painful, but I remember her being in a forest in my dream, dark, pitch black, and I could only see just a little bit around me, and it was night, and I could see, the noises in the forest that kind of scare you a little bit,
Yeah.
and I kept walking, but I didn't know where I was going, and suddenly, out of the blue, this huge black panther came
Wow.
beside me. She looked at me, and she made me understand I had to follow her,
Yeah.
and she guided me throughout the forest, outside of the forest.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but it was a black panther. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a white dove. you
I
know,
love it. I
you know what
love
I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like the shadow, like before perimenopause, it's always a bit more the light and the bubbly and the looking for bliss and always wanted to expand. And in perimenopause, it's like it's very tight here. I can hardly breathe. But you know what?
I have to allow.
We'll go through it. Yeah.
I mean, if there is something I can tell to women all around the world, if they're listening to this, when something comes up, um, it's like it is difficult to explain. I'll try to explain the best way I can without
Mhm.
being without minimizing the pain, because I know how difficult it is. But
Yeah.
when we go through these things, there are parts of us that are dying.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that's the feeling of feeling like sometimes quite awful, the feeling like I can't live with this anymore. That's the part of me that is going away.
Yeah, that was relatable to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough and it's difficult and it's one of the worst things you can experience. Well, not one of the worst, but one of the bad things, the lowest energies you can experience in life.
Yeah. It's really tough.
And it feels like there's no end to it. There's no end of the tunnel. There's no light on the other side. There's nothing. It's just this endless pitch black darkness.
Mhm.
That's your void. That's
Yeah.
where you crumble into tiny little pieces
Hmm.
and you're
Yeah.
gone. And
Yeah.
then you come out of it and you're new.
Yes.
You're not what you were before. You're someone else. You're always you, but in a
Yeah.
different
A
energy.
different form.
So
Yeah.
that's
You're
your
no longer the
void.
girl. The girl is really gone.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of my grief. That was looking back at the girl that I used to be and how helpful I was with people, and I always meant really, really well. But looking back, I had some grief, not only in that she was disappearing, but I was also wondering, like, did I do right by you? Did
Yeah.
I actually live my younger years the way that was right for you? So my younger self. And I really had these conversations with my younger self about it in a way. And in the end, I kind of let her go, and I came to this place of, you know what, I'm just going to create the best life for all these former versions of me, because right now I'm in charge, not the
Yeah.
girl inside me anymore.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that was quite a dance with my younger selves. And I travel around the world and I meet a lot of people from all sorts of walks of lives and cultures. And just like in the corporate world, that women were expressing that they wanted to work and be more feminine in those societies. I also run into women in, other cultures and walks of life who desire that, or who say, "What is it that you have?" Because then I would get a comment like, they'll look at me move or walk, and they'll just say, "So queens float." Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but the way you walk, it's like you're floating. Like, oh, right. And then people will ask me, how do you do that? Like, I need some of that. So part of my work is to really help women to get out of their own way and to create new patterns, whether it's physiological or mental, emotional, and eventually building that legacy, like the thing that they're here for, what they want to pass on in a concrete form in which they can create a community, help people, and get paid, because you need to get paid for the work you do. Because if you want to do all that cool stuff, yeah. You want to do all that cool stuff, right? So yeah, you want to hopefully look good while you do it and eat well and do sports. So it costs some money. And this is also where a lot of women that I work with struggle with, right? That asking for making offers because they're still people pleasing. So they're afraid to hear no. So there's a lot of inner work there that we do to come to new patterns in which they can really live unapologetically and have a business that buys back their time.
Yeah.
So one of the moments how I remember that for myself is actually that's how it went for me. When I was 32 years old, I got lost in North India at a huge festival called the Kumbh Mela. And it's the biggest, yogic religious festival in the world. And it's been around for 5,000 years. And it's like this Baba fest. So anything around Babas, fakirs, people that put a sword through their tongue and just say, oh, that's nothing. Or they hang on an arm for 30 years and the flesh is gone. Oh, no problem. I just controlled my mind through that. That all happens there. So it's wild. You see, in terms of bodies, what people are doing. It's like for a Western, like I just came from the Netherlands, and it just blew my mind. But I was very much in that corporate mode and training professional women still, and as the example that I gave previously. But I met the divine feminine actually in the Himalayas. So I was lost at the Kumbh Mela and very overwhelmed, but very vibing with it and in the energy of it. And then I saw this woman, and she was probably between 55 and 60. No makeup. She was wearing the most simple outfit, and she was the most beautiful woman that I'd ever seen. So I came from the Western world where, with supermodels and makeup, and we prepared ourselves for work with all our clothes. And it's gorgeous. I love that side of life too. But there was this supernatural 55-year-old woman with gray hair, no makeup, but she was beaming so much confidence and light. And just by the look on her face, I knew that she knew. I was like, you know exactly what you're doing. What is that? And we actually didn't speak, we didn't exchange words, but I was this younger feminine, a younger woman at the time. And this is how I met the divine feminine. I saw her in another woman, and she was living it, completely living it. And she blew me away so much. And in that moment, we actually looked at each other, and she looked into my eyes and went, and that was it for me. That was it. I could never go back to who I was. That from that moment on, I knew that beauty was not about your age. Mm-hmm. I knew that you didn't have to get super dressed to be wildly attractive. That gray hair is very beautiful. That you can be super safe anywhere in the world and just sit there, just being, and that you can actually know it and have this cheeky smile and just go, I know. So in that moment, she gave me something. And that's how my journey with the divine feminine began.
It's interesting how the divine feminine, the mother energy, the divine mother comes to us when we experience these very strange moments, I'm feeling lost, but knowing that I am lost, but I am fine.
Yes.
And then she comes.
And then she came. Yeah, through another woman. But
when I was telling you before, just surrender a little bit to the energy, because when we experience her and we become her in this phase of our life, she comes to us when we allow that to happen. So, oh, I feel overwhelmed, I'm crumbling,
Oh yeah,
but
exactly.
I am okay with that. And
Yeah,
then she comes
yeah,
because I am
exactly.
allowing
Yeah,
that energy to come through and work with me. While
yeah.
if I go, oh, why this is happening to me, and I go into victim mode, I close myself completely, and that
Completely.
energy, even if she tries to come through, we
No.
don't allow that to
No,
happen.
and even in like magical arts, even go so far as tarot or any kind of energy work. Like in very lucid magical arts, everything that you do that is from ego or wanting something or trying to acquire something or control someone else or playing the victim while you're doing energy work will actually call on more chaos in your life,
Yes, it does.
more mental
Absolutely.
chaos. It just drives you insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's better to just don't.
It's a spiral that goes down. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
it doesn't,
Don't do energy work when you're not in a good mind, for example.
no,
Not,
exactly. Yeah,
really clear, have that
yeah,
clarity.
yeah, yeah. When I feel overwhelmed, sometimes I go, okay, I'm taking a step back. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Always back to that clarity and that I
Yeah,
don't have to change anything.
yeah, because if
So I think
yeah,
that's very empowering if when women can just be and be magical, like
yeah,
the woman I met in North India, without performing and actually just influencing the environment simply by being and deeply knowing
yeah.
who she is.
Yeah, knowing who we are, exactly. This is what we are learning now in perimenopause, learning who
Yeah.
we are. And one of my teachers, she had a lovely way to put it. You are on this threshold. So imagine that you are on the doorway into a church, and the
Yeah.
doorway is it could be, I don't know. I mean, it depends again from your experience, your spiritual energy, who you work with. But she put
Mm-hmm.
it in a lovely way, and she said, you're going through this threshold. You don't know what's going to happen after.
Yeah.
So there's the
Yeah.
mystery there, right? So you are there and you're opening the door of the church, of this temple, and
Exactly.
you're gonna go in, and this on the threshold there could be an energy like Mother Mary guiding you through. But then you're in the church, and you are with the elderly Mary Magdalene, and all the mysteries that you are going to see. And
Yeah.
beyond that is the Black Madonna, and that's the deep, deep, deep work.
Yeah, for me that happened around 42. So the divine feminine came into my life when I was 32. Then I worked with divine feminine energy all the way through, and a lot of because of it, I actually date younger men, which is another taboo, huge taboo to date younger men. But I date men of at least 10 years younger, and they chase me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they chase me.
sorry, I'm
I
thinking
don't do
about
anything.
something here that came to mind about dating younger men. It's actually very common and very normal to do that because
Exactly.
we are experiencing this passage, so our hormones are going. So
No, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, so it's
yeah,
normal to me,
and
right? Like
it's
I actually
normal.
do it. I'm
Yeah,
one of the women that does it in real life.
yeah,
And I experience that, men are very drawn to that energy. They say it's
yeah.
just very attractive and they don't see the biological age. They're just like, just the way you walk or the way you speak, the tone of your voice. It's just very alluring and mysterious. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. And to me, the dark feminine arrived when I was 42 years old. So that really changed the game for me. And that's when I really started to incorporate my shadows and, yeah,
Mm.
and get into that darkness. So the dark feminine entered my life, I think about maybe a few months before I entered perimenopause, before I biologically started to shift.
Yeah.
So from that place, a lot of women that I work with actually request dark feminine work as well. So we always start off with divine feminine and building business, but also female values, strategy, making an offer, the complete proper way of building a business as we would do in multinationals, but in a virtual form. Um, but a lot of women now that I work with are very drawn to the dark feminine work and are requesting more of that energy while they're building their business because they say that, okay, I just want to be unapologetic. It's so important to me to be myself, to also show my darkness sometimes that I'm not perfect. I do weird stuff sometimes, I drop things, or I could, say something nasty, whatever, these behaviors that we are ashamed of. And I'm not talking about hurting others, right? Just things that we do,
Yeah.
of which we think, oh no, I need to hide that. But a lot of women right now, as well as in perimenopause, but also women in their 20s and 30s that I work with, are specifically requesting more dark feminine work with me, and also very black cat energy, so that they become unbothered, unapologetic, unbothered, like a black cat. A cat comes to you when they want to, not because you tell them to.
Yeah. I love you, but I have my own boundaries, and I'm allowing you to pet me only. You
When
can
I
pet
want
me
to.
only when I want it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I can also lash out.
Yeah,
Now,
I
I
know.
will hurt you. I will really hurt you. It will happen. So that's that dark feminine. Like, she doesn't really hold back. It's like, this is okay right now. But I'm super sharp, as opposed to the divine feminine, who will heal and understand and nurture.
Yeah.
The dark feminine would actually show you what it's like, to have nothing on. Like, now you're naked. Come at me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ripped your face off. Come at me.
Yeah.
You have no feet anymore. I just cut them off for you. Come at me.
And that's the thing with corporate world, younger women, older women. Sometimes
Yeah.
there is this, I don't know, because I see it in, well, I work with women in the afternoon and the evening, but in the morning, I am in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And fortunately, unfortunately, I don't say one or the other. It's just I am there for the moment because I need to be there for the moment for my own
Yes.
reasons. But I
Of
see,
course.
younger generations, older generations, they tend to lash out at each other, especially like
Mm.
if an older elderly an older woman going either through perimenopause or in postmenopause has that knowledge, but hasn't transformed that into wisdom.
Yes.
Then there's gonna be like a very intense
Yeah.
conflicting energy between the younger generation and the older generation. Where
Yeah.
if there is like much more, let's say not receptive, but open to acknowledge that there's something going on here, but and you want to make maybe a change, trying to make a change to kind of level the field between the younger generation, which you can't,
Yeah.
obviously you can't, but trying to understand what they're going through and help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, even with that, the younger generations are not really understanding what's happening here. So
Yeah.
the fact that you're not afraid, you don't want to you're not gonna get bullied, you're gonna say
Yeah.
things the way they are, you're gonna
Yeah.
attract men of their age. So that's the jealousy that comes up as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they actually don't understand, and there's this conflict going on constantly. And I find myself thinking, what should I do? Because I
Mm.
want that conflict, but the conflict is there for a reason. So
Yeah.
how do I work with it? So I don't know if I'm doing it right, and this is what I'm doing. Then you can tell me how you work with it, and the women that work with you.
Mm.
But first of all, boundaries.
Yeah.
So you don't come at me the way you want whenever you want.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to me, you ask and we talk. If you say
Yes.
something about me, I'm going to report you straight away, because
Yeah.
that's not the way we do things. This is a place of work. We need to be
Mhm.
professional. So
Yeah.
gossiping, bad mouthing, spreading rumors, you do it at your young age, do it outside of the workplace.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is not the place for it. And then
Mhm.
understand that. So at the moment, the only solution I have found for myself, and
Yeah.
I feel I say it as it is. You
Yeah.
don't like it, fine. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We don't have to talk at all. Just
Yeah.
respect my boundaries.
Yeah.
Because the moment you are trespassing my boundaries, I'm gonna cut your head off. And
Yeah.
that's the work of Kali.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's who I'm
Exactly. Yeah.
embodying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But they
That's
have
that.
to learn that. That's a learning process for them as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So sometimes I feel like maybe I'm too excessive, and I don't know, I'm not.
No. Yeah. How old are the ladies? Which generation or which age group?
Generation between 18 and 29, 28, 29. So very young.
Yeah. So they're used to a lot of internet and COVID, so they're set inside a lot. Yeah. And of course, online you can say anything and you won't get punished for it.
Yeah.
And that
And that's
kind of crosses over in the real world. It's
different,
tough.
isn't it? The real world is different. Yeah. Because then you
The
get
best, what I find that works best with a very young generation is to be humorous about it.
oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because when we turn into their mothers, because there's the psychology of, let's say, 3 traffic lights, right?
Yeah.
The red light, orange light, green light. Okay, so we are either parent equals or child.
Yeah.
Parent equal child. So let's say when they behave childishly, our parent gets activated and suddenly
Yeah.
we become the angry mother of
Yeah.
a younger girl who's not our child. So when they are in this mode, we need to be careful not to switch into the motherly mode because then we get frustrated. It makes you angry and
Yeah.
enraged. So stay this middle mode, the adult, objective adult, who's like, oh, that's kind of funny what you just said. Yeah, it's a bit suspicious, but I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
You know, like this Gen Z humor, this meme online humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just sort of use humor. And I find that they start to laugh and then eventually we sort of become friends. Then we find each other through
Common ground somehow.
humor. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know, like, obviously we are all different and, we approach things in different way. But yeah, using humor.
It's their language because they are used to internet memes, all these jokes, right? All the reels. So they think that way. So if you just go, I don't know, if they go to the gym and you say, okay, I do Bulgarian split squats, so I love to hurt myself, so you can't hurt me, bitch. And then they'll laugh. They'll go, oh, she's cool.
Oh, yeah. No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, any meme, any joke.
I have to start doing that because I'm very much more like, if someone comes to me with a gossip, I'm much more like, I actually,
I hurt myself in the gym.
Yeah,
what did you do to me?
Yeah. And they come to me with something, and I go like, how do you know it's true? Well, someone told me, did you witness it? No. Did you hear it? No. So how do you know it's true? Because someone told you. So why are you spreading rumors about someone when you actually don't know what's happening in that person's life?
Yeah.
And then they go, and then silence, and then they walk away, and then don't talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's for me a way to kind of, I know it's not, maybe it's too direct, maybe I don't know, but it's a way for me not to deal with that.
It's in a workplace and you're setting boundaries, right?
Yeah. So I don't really, I mean, going through this, it's already a journey in itself. Like, perimenopause, it is what it is. It's big, it's huge, everything is shifting and changing. And even when I go to work, I just want to go there, do my work. I don't want to engage in anything really. I'm engaging with people. Hello, how are you? How's your day? What did you do? Yes. I mean, basic things, and it's fine and it's nice and I like it. No problem. Yeah. Maybe sharing a little bit more with someone, that you feel more connected to.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's not my life. It's a place where I go to work.
Exactly.
My job for a few hours. Then I come home and I have my business.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I want to keep that separate. And I find that because of perimenopause, now I know I actually can do it. Like before, I would get involved with these stupid little things. Get overwhelmed, angry, rage, like rage sometimes.
Yeah.
Even for things that I can't control and are not my fault. Oh, this place is a mess. Why nothing is working? Why do you care? I mean, that's the manager's job.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is also what I teach women actually with men, because that caring side that comes up, right? Whether it's at work or in relationships or this kind of maybe people-pleasing tendency that younger women could still have.
Yeah. It goes. I mean, for what I've noticed, it goes like the pleasing tendency. It goes.
Yeah.
And not physically, it's our hormones. I know that.
Yeah. So when I work with younger women around 23 years old, very, very smart, beautiful, talented, very young ladies, but they have it all. And usually we do work on these boundaries because then they could want to overextend themselves. So I need to take care of this. Or my boyfriend flirt date person is lying in bed all day. Now I'm going to make soup for him and wake him up. No.
Stop that. Yeah.
We teach them now, do not do that. So I really help my clients, through that as well, that they don't end up in toxic relationships when they're still so young and they
Yeah.
don't recognize red flags yet,
Yeah.
but they feel something is wrong. They're like, what's going on there? But it's new to me. So they don't know if it's normal to take care of a grown guy. But this man is a grown man. You don't
It
take
makes
care
it.
of him.
Yeah. And but that's we have that capacity now because we can see through the layers.
Yes.
And we have learned how to see through the
Yeah.
layers. So we have that knowledge and then wisdom on how to do that and how to approach whatever issue we are looking at.
We're not responsible for all these environments,
Yeah.
for the office or
Yeah.
this guy or
Yeah.
this other. We're not everyone's mother, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Our motherhood age has gone, out of the window
Exactly.
with our hormones. So we
Yeah.
are in a different process. The stage where we are in, as you were saying before, it's very much the dark mother's energy.
Yeah.
Because we need to be in that strong, dark, grounded energy,
Yeah.
grounded energy.
Yeah.
Because we need that. We need to be that. Otherwise, it's like imagine the world as it is now. War, famine, whatever it is. Or every country has its own issues. Some worse than the others. But there are problems everywhere. Society is collapsing, and everything is changing. And obviously,
Mhm.
the way it is now, it is like this because things have to change. So we know that. But if we are not in the dark, grounding, powerful energy, how can we support others? So we
Yeah.
need to be in that dark mother's energy. That's the crone age. That's the
Yeah.
empress age. That's the wise woman age. However you
Yeah.
want to call it, many different names. But although it is like, yeah, it's called sometimes the second spring because we are reborn, but we have to be connected to the darkness of the womb that is supporting us, the womb of creation, the void, however you want to call it. We need to be in that space because that's a strong, strong, grounding, powerful, protective space where we can
Yeah.
guide younger
Yeah.
generation, from where we can guide
Exactly.
younger generations. So
Exactly.
it's not about you are working with the dark energy. It's not the devil.
No, it's not the devil. No, no, no. But no, no, no. But it's the energy that can beat the devil.
Yeah, can
It's
be,
the
but
energy that will beat the devil, right? Yeah.
yeah,
That's not the
Lilith.
devil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
So,
way more cheeky.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need that energy. It's like, we can't always be compassionate and kind. Sometimes
Yeah.
compassion is not being nice. Sometimes compassion is triggering the younger woman into understanding who she is.
Yeah.
And triggering can be quite painful,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why we're here.
Exactly. Yeah. I think for me, when the dark goddess arrived, it was after massive betrayal.
Mhm.
So I had a jewelry business in India, and I was together with my boyfriend at the time, and we built this jewelry business. It was going really, really well. And it was a man that I loved very much, and I still do till today. Like I really consider him my Indian husband in a way, Indian husband. Um, 14 years younger, of course, because that's how I roll. So, which triggers society, and that's fine. I don't care. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
do what I do, right? So,
No, I mean, who doesn't like younger men?
I mean, yeah, exactly, right? So if you have the capacity, totally go for it.
Wanna go
Don't
there,
hold
like,
back.
a young man, can go on and on and on for hours. So yeah.
Yeah, and the conversation is lovely. It's really actually so nice. I can do a different interview only about dating younger men and the difference with older men. But when the Dark Goddess arrived, it was after massive betrayal. So I had a company and a man that I really loved in India. And when I came back to Europe to arrange some affairs, my mom was very ill. So I started to take care of my mother. And in the meantime, his family kind of stole from us. They kind of stole our business when I wasn't around. So that was very, very painful, huge betrayal in which I lost my business and my beloved. And it was actually in that pain that I was screaming inside so loud. I never heard myself scream out of agony in that way, ever. It was so big. And then I went into a breathwork session on Ibiza with other divine feminine queen women, actually. So the energy was very primed for us. And we started this breathwork with an amazing facilitator. And that was actually when the dark goddess invited me into her realm during that particular journey. And the difference between other journeys that I'd done with the light and that one was that the light ones I could control with my imagination. I could still steer it. While with the dark one, I was pulled in.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you come
Yeah.
in, you come in, you have no control. You come in, you come in, you have no
Yeah.
control. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. I know it hurts. And I was just screaming, 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 and on the inside, on the inside. So in the end, when she kind of invited me in, I was going through these dark tunnels, like it was wet and moist, and I heard waterfall, like drops of
Yes.
water, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and it got deeper and deeper, but it was so dark. And at some point, I came into this cave with candles, and it was very sexy. I was like, but this is pure sexual energy. What is this? This is different. And there were all these black curtains and veils, and she was sat there behind these black veils that I had to walk through. And then she was there on a throne, naked, voluptuous, and just looking at me like this snake-like woman kind of being. And that was the moment that I was Inanna. I was broken, betrayed. I had no more clothes. I had lost all my ornaments of power, like my crown and my scepter and my ring. Everything that I knew that empowered me was gone in that moment. So I was just bleeding on that meat hook. And she was just looking at me like, but this is sexy. This is
Oh,
sexy. And I was like, sexy?
I'm pain.
What the fuck? Yeah, I'm in pain. And I was like screaming. And then she said, yeah, but now new things are going to come into your life and new forms of
Yeah.
love. And this is what you need to be able to hold this darkness. And I was just there in that, in that cave in a way. So that was the first time that she really pulled me in. And my biological change started maybe a few months later. So first she invited me, and then the human here
Yeah.
went through the transformation. Yeah.
It's interesting how she does things. Like, when you want something, you want this, okay,
Oh,
let's see, let's prepare you for this.
yeah.
It's not just here you go.
No,
You
no,
have
and I
to
also
prepare.
realized I can't control her. This is not something that I
Yeah.
summon, that is with
No, no.
rituals. She decides.
No, that's the thing with the Divine Mother. And this is something I try to
Yeah.
explain to women, especially going through perimenopause, because they're going to
Yeah.
feel much, much
They're
more.
going to look for it, right? They will,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you don't tell the Divine Mother to come to
No.
you and do work with you. If you are supposed to work with her, she's gonna come. And
She'll
when she
come.
comes, you're gonna feel her. But the
Yeah.
way you're gonna feel her is not, oh, I'm feeling bliss.
No.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe you are in bliss for a moment. But
Yeah.
in your experience, in my experience, and my friend's experience, and
Yeah.
the women I work with, she takes you and she throws you into the void.
While I was screaming,
Screaming. Yeah.
screaming,
And I
raging.
remember, yeah, and you know how it is, so
Yeah.
allowing yourself to be in that void,
Yeah.
screaming in pain, scream. If you want to scream, go outside in nature, scream. Take a pillow, put it in your face and scream.
Yeah.
Let that out. But one of the things Kali said to me, scream, cry, feel the pain, but we're going to get rid of everything. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
burning in the
Exactly.
fire. She threw me in the fire and I
Yeah.
was
And then she
burned
just
alive.
looks at you without helping. She just goes,
No,
okay,
because that's compassion. And that's
yeah,
the thing that
exactly. Yeah.
stopped. And now when I
Yeah.
feel Kali in here, I feel like I'm crying. I want to
Yeah,
cry
me
because I
too.
feel this huge love for her and this
Yeah.
respect and this gratitude for
Yeah.
what she did for me. Because as you
Exactly.
remember me, 2017, I was betrayed myself as well, huge
Yeah.
betrayal. And then after that, my perimenopause journey started. Then I
Yeah.
had my accident.
Yeah. So the betrayal and the did. Yeah.
One, like as you said, one after the other. But when you are in the throes of that fire, allow
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
As
shit.
painful
Yeah.
as it can be, look for support, yes.
Yeah.
Don't be alone with it, but look
Yeah.
for support, but be with it. Because
Yeah.
that fire burned me alive.
It did. It really
The day I
did.
was there, back then, it's not the way I am now.
No, exactly. The girl that was pulled in so much pain, like she's gone. She's gone.
Yeah.
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 And that was painful too,
And
like
that's the death,
accepting it.
right?
Like she's
Yeah.
gone.
The death we were saying before is part of us dying. And
Yeah.
I guess it's supposed for whatever service we have
Yeah.
signed up for before we came,
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
now, like, if I see how I work with clients now, with the dark feminine energy, oh man, it's just so different. The results they get, the way they feel, um, it's just more kick ass.
Yeah.
I think that's the word that I have for
Yeah,
it. It
for me,
kicks
I think
ass,
for me as
like
well, it's just
what?
that's the energy that grounds the work.
Yes, yes, it's grounded. Yeah,
And that's
it is.
why
It's
I
raw and
am in that
real.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
And
I
you don't say that you're
think
perfect anymore. Like, no,
no,
I have bad things too. I have parts of my personality that are not so perfect, and that's okay, Like,
yeah. It's like even like, it's not about chasing or look
yeah,
going after. It's just being grounded and building something that is going to attract. You are going to attract in the way. Sorry, I put it in the wrong way. Just you're feeling
yeah,
grounded and strong in your power, and you're going to attract instead of going after and chasing. So you are not actually chasing anything or anyone anymore.
no,
It's
no,
just this
exactly.
energy. Yeah, and you're gonna be a catalyst. You become the catalyst for change, for
Yes. And
healing,
that
not
is
just for
very
yourself,
attractive.
but
That
for
is,
the people in your life, the
yeah,
clients you work with, your family, your friends, and this is who we are, what we become, catalysts for change. We become I don't know, guides, teachers, leaders, healers, coaches, and
yeah,
we fully embodying that energy finally because we know we did the work. We did
yeah,
the work and we didn't shy away from it. And that
exactly. And it's very magnetic, very attractive.
it is.
Yeah, but it will also trigger people, of course, because they feel it and it's the sexual energy, it triggers so many people as well. It's
Yeah.
taboo. And I think that's one of the reasons why I so love doing this.
Yeah.
Give me the taboo. I will
Yeah.
I will turn that into chocolate. It's fine. Let's
It's
do it.
fine. Yum.
Yeah, exactly. Come here,
Yummy,
like
yummy. Yes.
here.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, even during this perimenopausal time, women, I find that they want to explore sexuality in a different way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not just about, often we hear, oh, perimenopause, we don't want to have sex anymore, everything becomes dry and painful. Not
Yeah.
always. Not
No.
always. There are times you're gonna feel that, then there's a shift and you're gonna feel quite open in your womb, in your yoni, in your vagina. Your
Yeah.
are quite actually the energy then becomes quite strong. And you feel that because of what's happening, the changes, you want to explore something different. So
Mhm.
there are many women that feel like I want to explore sexuality in a different way. Maybe I'm straight and I always, had sex with men. Now I want to try to have sex with a woman and see how it feels. Maybe I want to have a threesome. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
want to explore my sexuality in a different way.
Yeah.
And this
Exactly.
is also what comes up. So it's not just about being painful and dry and closed.
No.
No, no. So something that women feel like, oh, it's gonna be this way. So I'm gonna close the doors. I'm not gonna think about sex anymore. And if they want to do that, it's fine. It's not I'm not here to judge that, but I'm here to tell you that, there's another side to that, which is
Yes.
quite enjoyable.
Yes.
And mysterious, fascinating. It's the word that comes to me is luscious and juicy, and you know what I mean. It's moist and it's powerful, and it's
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Magnetic, right? It's
magnetic and
magnetic.
mysterious, and you want to explore that as well. And it's nice to explore all these different aspects of ourselves at this time. If we don't do that now, when if you
Yeah.
do it when you were younger, do it now. Why not?
Yes. Yeah, we really do really have one life. And that's some of the mindset work that really helped me through this. Because when it started for me at 42, my first issues were really dysregulated thinking and emotions. Like I couldn't manage things the way I did before. Clearly, I was just, like I said, screaming inside. Like I couldn't switch it off. I was suffering. I was really suffering from myself. And I was like, holy, what do I do with this? And on a physical level, I started to get massive heart palpitations, really high heartbeat. So I was shocked. I was like, I'm only 42. What's happening? This is scary. Like, oh, no more thought control, and my heart is doing things that I don't understand. And of course, the cortisol weight. So I suddenly I was 75 kilos.
Wow.
70. Yeah. Whoop, just like that.
Wow.
Just like that. And I think I only ate like potatoes. And I'm like, why did I gain 20 kilos from this? So all of a sudden I was raging inside. My heartbeat was way too high as I got scared. I am laughing now, but I was scared at the time. I was really panicking. Because you start to think, am I sick? What's happening? And the cortisol. So I felt fat and out of control and very unsexy, So, oh, wow. No.
What's this? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the physical side for me. So the first thing that I did, because I, just like many women, wasn't informed about perimenopause. I really didn't know. I didn't even know the word when I was 42.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, yeah. Many women don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was figuring out, right? But the first thing I did was actually keep it very measurable and practical. So if you know me, then you'll know that I like to measure things in the end. I like all the bubbly, but then I'll put it in some kind of a thing. And I'm like, look, yeah. So I did that on myself. And the first thing I did was actually just get a smartwatch. And I started to practice bringing my heart rate down consciously. I was like, every day I need to see my average heart rate going normal and not shooting up like that. Yeah. And I could really feel it. I was so scared. So I took it very practical and measurable. I was like, fix the physical part first, lower cortisol, really lower that. So I was focusing on my heart rate with a smartwatch, then doing exercises to release cortisol, going on more walks instead of high impact training because that created more adrenaline and cortisol. So I couldn't run anymore or do all these intensive sports that I was used to. And that many of us learn that is the way you lose weight, or that is how you get fit. But in perimenopause, it backfires to sport in that way because you get adrenaline, and adrenaline creates cortisol. So I had to figure out ways to move and lose weight without being adrenalized. So that was my mission. How do I do this? Yeah. So through that journey, when I lowered my heart rate and I started to get my cortisol levels under control with nutrition, I changed my diet, make sure that I had more protein intake, way less sugar, coffee, just starting to let go of all that. Once I had the energy to do it, I started to go to the gym to go weightlifting. And in the gym, I started to practice my mindset. So I started to practice stoicism while I was on the treadmill. So I was slowly moving, no adrenaline, while practicing stoic philosophy in my own mind. And that combo was the winning combo for me because it really hit all the points that I needed to work on in the most grounded way, because stoicism is extremely grounded. It's about life as it is. Yeah. Unapologetic. It's like when it's ugly, you take it. When it's nice, you take it, but you don't complain.
Yeah.
Right?
That's about it.
When the day starts, you get out of bed, you don't complain. In stoicism, it's about gratitude for life, for the earth, and that you have to work and plow the land even when it's winter. Yeah. So when you're uncomfortable, you still have to go out there and plant your seeds. And working on that mindset, which is developed by Marcus Aurelius, one of the last great Roman emperors, who was a massive leader and thought leader and philosopher, just working on that and thinking about, if people could get through this in Rome, then I can certainly get through it in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
with all these wars and famine and whatever was going on between the Senate and the generals, and it's a massive empire, and Marcus Aurelius handled that, then I should be able to handle this gym and just get my life together.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, we can do things. We can
yeah, we are empowered. We can. So I started to focus on what I could control, which was my mind and my body. And from that on, I went to weight training, actual weightlifting, and that was my saving grace. That was the final step for me to go from 75 kilos to 57, which is what I am now, to go from a weak, flabby body that I was really insecure about because my body went very fast suddenly, to a muscular, fit body of a 45-year-old woman that I'm so proud of. I have my nutrition under control. I know how to manage my mindset. And so to me, eventually, if someone would ask me, like, what do women in perimenopause need to do? Go to the gym.
Yes,
And
please.
then weight training. So no more hit high impact stuff, but actually work the weights. And it's also proven that that helps women over 40 so much, both on a mental level, but it also releases more, of course, endorphins and dopamine. So you'll get happier just by your own effort, but also collagen.
Yeah. And also, like, because as now it's a bit sad to say, but obviously there are three main concerns when we start perimenopause. And one of the three main concerns is bone health. Because bones, they start, to deteriorate a little bit inside, develop osteopenia or osteoporosis, and then building muscle mass is essential.
Exactly. So you build back your bone so you don't deteriorate. You're actually really re-establishing your physical strength.
Yeah, your muscles are there to protect the bones that basically are becoming less stronger. So you need to strengthen those muscles and those joints so that you avoid accidents, and
Exactly.
And it's not about going. I mean, and I'm not talking when you say going to the gym and lift weights. We are not talking about the pinky weights.
No, we're talking about resistance.
We're talking about
you have to
real
push.
deal, the real stuff. So it is very important. So going exercising. If you have whoever is listening, if you have never exercised in your life, start now. And, because you can start even now, but do something for your body because. You need muscle strength, and muscle strength is essential at our age. Growing older is important. And all this working, all this, not just the main muscles, but all the muscles from the muscles below the muscles that keep us
the core.
The core and our core is essential. Core work is important. So go to the gym and do the
and
weight.
it gives you that elevated posture. Like when your core is trained, you have this queen-like posture. You can keep yourself up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
And exactly what you said, bone health, because we start to lose bone strength, deteriorate. And with resistance training, you build bone back.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful to have this as women, we don't.
I don't know if we can actually build bones back, but we can certainly protect the bones underneath.
Well, they kind of grow back. They become stronger.
Sometimes it depends on your physical body and what you're experiencing, what you're going through.
That's why in weight training, nutrition is very important. It's not only going to the gym, but you really need to make sure that your protein intake and food intake matches your training because you're transferring your food into muscle.
Yeah, and the thing is, if people who are listening, they don't know about vitamins intake as well. So calcium, collagen are very important, but you have to take calcium and collagen with other things. So collagen, you take magnesium, you take calcium. With calcium, you take vitamin K, vitamin D3. So always talk to someone a nutritionist who understands the menopause journey and can help you with these essential vitamins and then protein intake as well. But nutrition, go to the gym, go do your inner work, become a selfish bitch because you need to do that.
Well, I would say unapologetic.
So I'm
Be
very
unapologetic and unbothered, like a cat. Yeah.
I know,
And,
I'm just, because that's the way that someone called me. Yeah, fine.
yeah, but that's a projection from them. That is just their insecurity.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I can be that. I don't care really. I just need to take care of myself because
Yeah.
I know it's something that we lose a little bit of compassion and a little bit of
Yeah.
we have less capacity with the hormones going up and down to feel the same love for others. But
Yeah.
that's the thing as well, from a spiritual energetic perspective, it makes us focus on ourselves more, so that when we go actually reach the menopause day, then into post-menopause, then we are stronger, we are wiser, and we can help others better. So it is the journey, and it can be tough, and also something we have to embrace. It's here.
Yeah, we do.
Can't
But I
stop
think
it.
like it is such a gift. It's such a gift to handle your thoughts, be very secure in your nutrition. Like I know what I'm eating, like I got this. To having that strength to go to the gym, because one of the hardest things to do is, of course, to go. Once you're there, you're fine. But to manage, to have that discipline yourself to constantly make those choices. And that's another thing that I work with my clients, to create flexible routines in which they do need discipline to do all this, but not in a way that's rigid, but in a way that feels fun and empowering for them.
Feminine as well. It's just not about working like a man, but it's just I mean,
exactly.
Even you do at the gym, maybe it could be like built, in an essential, straightforward way, in a masculine way, but then you work with it in a feminine way. You have your own music, your iPods, and you just go to the
your gym crush,
earphones, and you put on some nice music, and you do what you have to do, but you have to lift those weights.
Yes, you need to be disciplined.
You have to build muscle mass, because ladies,
it's not going to happen.
So it has to be built, with
gelatina.
And the thing is, I mean, this is the stage. This is where we are. We have to work with what we have, and we have to do the best we can to take care of ourselves. And then when we do that, we can create the space, and we have the energy, and not only have the body, but also have the energy to protect and guide the younger generations in the best way we can.
So so if someone would ask me, like, how do you deal with perimenopause and how do you help your female business owner clients through this so that they have energy and, can actually see all their dreams through, because you need energy to do it and to build. It would be a combination indeed of Stoic philosophy / mindset for me. Go to weightlifting, resistance training to build up muscle and strength, and you'll just feel 10,000 times better. You'll feel amazing. It also builds discipline and confidence, because a lot of my clients, they're asking for, how can I gain more confidence? So go to the gym. And nutrition, of course, because you need to eat really well. When you start working out, you can't skip meals. You can't skip meals, because that will create more cortisol and stress.
No, you have to.
So you need to plan your meals as well. So now the game starts to change. Nothing is incidental anymore. It's all very intentional and deliberate. And then, of course, shadow work. So that darker side of energy work. And that's what we do to cycle through these stages.
We're coming to an end here. Just see the message. So thank you so much. I will send you the recording before I post it anyway, and we can go through together through the recording, see if what you want to share, what you want to modify, or anything else.
Okay, perfect.
And I just got a message that the recording is stopping soon. So and because it's been 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. It's 2 hours call, so I'm going to divide this. and see
Yeah.
and I can post it. So it's gonna be a little bit of work for me. So
Yeah, it's a lot of editing, isn't it? Yeah.
just bear with me.
Uh,
I will go through it as soon as I can.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me and for creating this space for me to share my own experience with perimenopause and the energy work that I've done, and also how I help other women
You're
in
very welcome. And
in
yeah, I was excited to have you here. So it's gonna be great. This is gonna be more than one post, obviously, because it's a long call. So
yeah.
and it's gonna be great. So yeah, we have a lot of insights and lots of between the two of us, we talked a lot about different things and always focused on the journey we're in, honoring that space and be who we are, unapologetically free, wild, real,
Yeah.
raw, and true.
So the last question was, where can people find you?
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram. I think that's the quickest pathway. I have a website, but it's better to look for me on Instagram. And my handle is at Djehan Lauwers, my
And
first
I'll
and
post a
last.
link under the interviews for
Yeah,
you to
thank you so
connect,
much.
to connect to you. So they connect to you. So, and yeah, so they can find you as well.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Chat soon. I think we're going to meet again next week anyway. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you for everything, Michela. I wish you a lovely night.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.